Hi, Adalyn. Welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life, the podcast with me, Gareth. Now, you know here on the Hundamental Guide to Life, we love a bit of 90s and noughties nostalgia. So this season, we've teamed up with possibly the honeyest summer festival ever, Back to Festival. Back to Festival's 2022 lineup is literally all your Hun dreams coming true. I'm talking Cascada, Venga Boys, Aqua, UB40, Base Hunter, Ep7, The Artful Dodger, Hunsnet Faves Steps as part of their 25th anniversary tour, and so many more headlining acts. Now, in its 6th year, Back to Festival is the ultimate throwback party, spread over 4 nights and featuring 3 stages with over 100 iconic artists. This festival is definitely the one, Hun. Wanna be bougie? No problem. This year's Back to Festival features a brand new VIP area, gorgy cocky tea bars, creamy Hun drinks brands, and local food traders for you and your gaggle of Huns to enjoy. Taking place at Catton Park, Derbyshire from the 30th of June to the 3rd of July, Back to Festival is going to give you all the bragging rights and plenty of Insta-worthy content. So block out the diary and galvanise your Dallins for a weekend to remember. Want to know more? Check out Back to Festival on FaceB or at Back to Festivals on Insta. Tickets are on sale right now, babes, and start at just £30. So what are you waiting for, Huns? Check out www.backtofestivals.co.uk for all the down low on the weekend, the full lineup and tickets. It's gonna be a right old rave up. Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Hundamental Guide to Life. This week, you'll know his voice from radio hosting The Brekkie Show on Hits Radio, on your telly box on MTV, and also one half of the groundbreaking podcast, A Gay and a Non-Gay. Oh, and he's dead funny as well, doing his stand-up show as well. So, James Barr, welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life.
Hi, Hun. Hi, honeys.
Hi, Hun. How are you, Hun?
I'm good, Hun. I'm good. I'm 3 Lamborghinis in. I'm ready.
3 Lamborghinis. Is that 3 Lamborghini bottles or 3 Lamborghini cans, strawberry edition?
It's 3 Lamborghini boxes.
Boxes. Just kicking this off about Lamborghini because Lamborghini is like the OG Hun drink.
It really is.
Now, it's made a bit of a resurgence, and even though we're not sponsored by Lamborghini, I had a strawberry can of Lamborghini the other day, and it was gorge.
Oh, babes, I don't know if I can do that. I'm more of an OG Lamborghini. I don't want the flavors. I just want to go back to my roots, you know?
Okay, are you a can cocky tea kind of Hun?
I'm a bottle, straight from the bottle.
I'm toast bottle.
I mean, me and my friend, I'm a toast bottle, sometimes can burst. Me and my friend used to like down it on a train to London to GAY when we were off to see Sophie EB. So to be honest, I think I'm a full, but I'll just go the whole bottle.
Cans has gone too bougie as well. Although what I will say, if anybody does like cocky tea cans, I had a Kahlua espresso martini on Saturday, and it was groundbreaking because, you know, these espresso martinis in a can, bit dodge every now and again.
Well, you don't get the beans, do you?
Don't.
I like the little beans sitting on the froth.
We love a bean. We do love a bean.
We are already in. I love this so much. I found my home.
Do you know what? Season 1 of this podcast was all kind of twee and lovely and all about Hun. Since recording season 2, it's taken a very sinister turn to the gutter. And I'm kind of here for it.
Interesting. So we're kind of into our hoe phase.
Yeah, did become a little bit of a hoe. We are total hoes at the moment. Yeah, Christina Aguilera's stripped album phase.
Do you want me to get my arsehole out? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I mean, we'll probably save that for the paywall. You know, just get
sure.
as much. Just get as much.
Put that on my OnlyFans or OnlyFan.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll send out a scratch and sniff pad as well for anybody who'd like it as well. Do you remember Scratch and Sniff? I remember Comic Relief. They did a Scratch and Sniff episode where you could like watch Comic Relief and you had this little scratch card and it was like, ooh, Peggy Mitchell's chopping onions, and then you'd sniff it and it wouldn't smell anything like onions. Anyway, I digress.
I don't remember that actually, but I'm disappointed that it smelled of onions.
Yeah. Whereabouts is Scratch and Sniff is a media that needs to be explored. Welcome to the Hundamental Guide to Life. This is the podcast all about Huns, Hun cultures, commentators of Hun cultures, and people who just like to live, love, and laugh through daily life. And we're really, really happy that you joined us today. So, James, before we get going, we ask everybody, we sort of dive into everyone's Hun CV, a curricula Hun Vitae. So, James, you've got a lot on your normal CV, which we're going to talk about shortly, but we want to tick off some things that could be on your Hun CV as well. Taking it back to your days up on the train at the GAY, were you jeans and a vest and a rosary bead fan?
See, I take offensive. I take offense to this question because I am currently a vest and a rosy bead Hun, and I didn't get that memo in the past. I didn't do that. I was too busy just like wearing a very unfitted t-shirt or shirt, like I was straight or something. And now I would go for the vest because I've been working out. I'm trying to have a hot dumb year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've thrown away the activism and I'm just getting into my full hotness. So I've been going to the gym. I've been trying to lose weight. I was getting rid of my lockdown chins. And so now I would totally do the rosary beads and the vest.
Is there something like from back in the past, like, because my thing is like, you know, like these, I'm jeans and boots sort of things. And well, no, actually not jeans. I'm all about boots. Do you remember like when the All Saints boots came in like ages ago? But that's sort of like one style thing that sort of just hung around with me since back in the day. I've always got some sort of trouser in a boot. Is there anything from back in the day that sort of you've clung on and you refuse to let go to fashion wise?
Skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans.
Apparently they're chuggy, but I can't let them go. Because my pins just look great, I think.
Yeah, they just elongate, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about them. They make you look skinny as well. Because if your legs are skinny, then everything else must be, even if it's not.
Yeah, the skinny jeans topic, particularly for men's skinny jeans as well. There seems to be a bit of backlash out there that we can't do it anymore. But I don't know. I'm here for it. I mean, obviously wear what you want to wear, but I would probably stay. Me personally, because my lockdown chins are still hanging around, I'd probably steer clear of the skinny jeans myself. But yeah, they've always got a special place in my heart.
They're so hard to get rid of, the chins, aren't they?
Yeah, and the jeans. Yeah.
I don't know. And the jeans.
I've been really experimenting with my facial hair about how to try and sort of move my beard back to try and mask some of the chins.
Right.
Because there was a point where, obviously, I'm 6'4", so when I'm usually photographed from like a downward angle on my OnlyFans, and I basically look like this thumb man. So yeah, lockdown chins are hanging around.
Mine were like, I mean, it's like the Peak District, isn't it, at times, when you just catch yourself off guard and you're like, oh, God.
Who is that? Who is it? So let's stay with men's fashion. Can we just talk about, like, Topshop and Topman going? I don't think we talk about this as much out there in society. It was a big blow. Topshop, Topman, and all the tops.
I still walk past Topshop on Oxford Street and just say a little obituary in my head. As I pass it. I think it's actually devastating. And I know you can get it online, but it's really not the same.
It's not the same.
I want to finger through the rails.
Yeah.
I want to look at the other guys in there. So yeah, I'm upset about it. I think it's really upsetting. And I've pivoted now to Zara.
Yeah.
I do like a Zara. Zara's doing quite well, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's upsetting.
Whereabouts is the studio for Hits? It's Leicester Square, right?
It's Golden Square in Soho. Yeah, so Carnaby Street.
So you're in the thick of it. So you get to walk past the relic that was once Topshop quite often, and I do too. You're broadcasting from your bedroom.
I am.
That's something that you do quite often.
It is. I call it a boudoir, thank you.
Boudoir.
I've got my little Parisian lamps and my art on the wall. Yeah, I do. I did a lot of podcasting in lockdown from my bedroom. I did a lot of voiceovers, and so it's nice to be at home actually and being on doing your podcast from here. But I quite like to sit on the floor like a yoga mum. I don't want to be like comfortable. I like to be uncomfortable. I don't know why I've chosen that.
Yeah, dripping in Lululemon.
Right.
Let's go back to like your Hun formative years. What was your teenage like Hun formative years bedroom like?
Right, I had the cause on my wall. Yeah, because of Jim.
Because of Jim?
I mean,
was he a hottie?
Well, I think he was to me at that point.
Yeah.
Now, no.
Yeah. Andrea's flying the flag since she was in Evita. There could only be one star in the group.
Right. You're completely right. No, I loved the cause. And I had Bewitched on my wall.
Oh, quite. It's a very Irish theme going on.
Thank you. I don't know why.
Yeah.
No Boyzone though. But yeah, I had Bewitched in the cause and Peter Andre, of course. Mysterious Girl.
Oh, you were in sort of Slimy Curtains phase,
yes,
Peter Andre.
Slimy Curtains, Peter. He's never been the same since. I don't fancy him now. But he had this in his inlay card. Oh, I'm showing my age. There was a poster of him that you would like unfold. So I had this like folded poster of him on my wall, and he was full greased up. It was
Oiled
so
up.
hot.
Yeah. Was he like doing like hand? He used to do like hands like this for the purpose of the tape. I'm just like pointing up to imaginary nothing.
That's
like,
exactly. It was very much like
yeah, and like,
he was really feeling his oats.
Wet lip gel, and it's like, and it kind of like went up and then. Ooh.
Why do I still fancy him? Yeah, it did do that. I mean, it's gross, really.
So you don't fancy Peter Andre as in Peter Andre?
Oh no,
now?
not now. But I still fancy old Peter Andre. Yeah.
Do you still have the inlay card? Is it somewhere? Do you keep it close?
Actually, I think it probably is at my mum's house. So maybe I should fish it out. Pop it up on the wall.
We'll put this out when the episode comes out. Peter Andre back in the day or Peter Andre now? Let's see what the Huns think, because I think I think the mums like Peter Andre now.
Yeah. But do the Huns?
Mums or Huns? Huns, mums. We'll see. We'll find out.
I mean, they're the same thing, but I don't know. I think, well, what do you prefer? I definitely prefer Peter Andre then.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like Adam Rickett as well. Like Adam Rickett is actually hot now, but I still prefer that like greased up, overly tanned, unnatural looking. This is why I love filters so much. I don't want real life. There's a great
piece of footage whenever you search, because like I use I Breathe Again and Adam Rickett, every 3 months to sort of drum up support on Instagram, just when there's nothing, got no content today, get Adam Rickett out. And there's a great clip on YouTube of, I'm pretty sure it's Adam Rickett bringing in the new year at GAY when it was at the Astoria, and he's literally walking on like these baggy jeans and this like leather jacket like hanging off him like oh yeah, and then just gets his oily body out and we all just lose ourselves.
Yeah, I'm losing myself now thinking about it. That is hot.
It's quite grainy footage, so it's in fitting of the time. But yeah, that's a bit. If you got 5 minutes later, and
I'll give it 10.
Yeah, give it 7.5. Anyway. Lots of Huns have autobiographies. Do you read autobiographies? Have you ever read a Hun's autobiography? I'm talking Vicky B, Learning to Fly, Claire Richards, Kerry Katona.
Yeah, I actually really struggle to read, if I'm honest. I just get really bored and I find it really hard. So I've recently been getting into audiobooks. Mm-hmm. One of my most favorite celebrity like audiobook vibes is Cheryl's R&B and Me. That would be my go-to answer for this question.
What is it?
What a podcast. R&B and Me. I love it. It's so funny. It's so awful. What was she doing? Yeah. I love that she's now not doing it. It's brilliant. It's the whole saga of that is just everything.
Let's talk about Cheryl. Let's go off. Like, what has happened to Cheryl? She's gone from being like nation sweetheart to some sort of like Scottish widow. Just don't see her anymore.
I mean, Hun, was she the nation's sweetheart? I don't know what happened there, because if we're honest, but I definitely thought of her as the people's princess for a very long time. I mean, she wouldn't hurt an ant. So I don't know. But lately, I think she's just taken a bit of a back seat. I respect that, though. I think she's been focusing on the Cheryl Foundation and looking after herself. She's done a few remixes, hasn't she? Like the Sexy Dana Mother remix.
Oh, God, yeah. That was to do with the Hoopla appearance. Did you see her at
and
Hoopla?
I got COVID, so I missed Hoopla, which I was gutted about.
So good. Honestly, so
upset.
good. I've got to be honest with you, I was there and I was thinking, oh, yeah, it's Cheryl. But like 10 pints down and like, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon in Brockwell Park, and Cheryl just comes on with Sexy Dana Mother.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know I nearly got that as a tattoo at the time?
Really?
And I'm still regretting my decision not to get it. And now I feel like I can't do it.
No questionable tattoos or anything like that?
No tattoos. That would have been the only tattoo.
Tattoos, questionable tattoos are Hun, aren't they? We've spoken about this quite a lot on the podcast. They are very, very Hun. Do you know what? Us Huns, we've been through a lot, and why not show our scars? And that is definitely one from the past. So, any thoughts on a tattoo coming up, or is your tattoo era over?
Well, this is the problem. Like, what do you think? I still love that song. I adore the spelling. I think everything about it is hilarious. It's the best Cheryl song. So I do love her.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to get it, but it just feels...
you should.
It's a bit, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to be one of those like 70-year-old Huns who's just on the beach in Hastings one day and thinks, fuck it, now's the time.
Now's the time. Just remind everybody what the spelling of this song is.
Gladly.
Go on.
Sexy, Dan, D-E-N.
Den.
A. Mother, M-U-T-H-A.
The only way to spell it.
Sexy done a mother. I mean, it's just great.
Brilliant. She's just, and that is why she is qualified to have an R&B podcast, I reckon.
I
Just
think
because
so
of the
too.
spelling that.
I mean, it's a bona fide R&B bop, babes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And one extra can't come for me on that. It's true.
She will swan dive to that anywhere, anytime, any place. I love a Cheryl swan dive.
Oh, me too. I actually did it once to her. Have you seen that?
No, you swan dived at Cheryl.
Yes, I did. I was interviewing her, and I was so excited about the swan dive because it had just happened on. It was
The Voice.
right? Yeah. And so I was just obsessed. And she came in like a couple of days later, so I just jumped up on the desk at the radio station and I jumped at her and did a swan dive.
And that's why she's not doing anything anymore, because there's one time she was interviewed by James Barr.
She never does interviews now.
and got launched at by James.
It's my
screaming sexy Den, a mother.
Sexy Den, a mother.
Sexy Den.
Skull shares.
It sounds like an era of EastEnders. Ooh, sexy Den.
Oh, it does. Maybe that's what it was about.
Maybe it's about Dirty Den from EastEnders. Sexy Den. There's a storyline there.
There's something. We need to get to the bottom of this.
We do. Okay, James. Now, you're from a seaside town, the lovely Eastbourne, correct?
I love Eastbourne.
Yeah. Now, seaside towns are Hun, aren't they? Seaside, and because they're very camp. Lots of inspirational quotes on driftwood, left, right, and centre. Do you have is there an inspirational quote that you live by, or do you have, I'm just trying to look into in your bedroom there, do you have any inspirational quotes on random piece of driftwood or any other paraphernalia throughout your house?
I don't. But actually, I have, the only art I have in my house is words. So I have like equality, boys, 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 New York fucking city. I've got I've only got words. That's it. But yeah. I love that I've now got the opportunity to talk about how Hun Eastbourne is, because oh my God, have you been? It is glorious.
I've not been to Eastbourne. Sell it to me.
Right, it's gorge, babes. It's gorgina. It's got the most sunshine in the UK out of all the towns. I know. I don't really believe it, even though I grew up there. And there's like a sign when you drive in. So it is the home of like inspirational quotes on driftwood, because they have a sign that says "Welcome to the Sunshine Coast." Oh. And then for a bit they went through this phase where they were like, oh, let's mix it up a bit, so they put a new sign up, and the new sign was "The good life got better." How awful is that?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm moving there right now.
You have to.
So growing up in Eastbourne, like I worked in the seaside town of Weston-super-Mare in my formative years.
Ooh.
Glorious. Now there's always a great club. Like, was there a good club like in Eastbourne? Where everybody went to. What was the club back in the day?
There were a few actually. I think one of them is still there. The one I remember is Atlantis.
Oh, I love it. That lovely Greek mythology name, for that night out for where you want to drink loads of Blue Wickets and Smirnoff Ices.
Absolutely. Carpets, the lot. And it was on the pier. So obviously that is even more Hun. And you'd like walk up the pier. It's freezing cold at this point. There's like rain lashing down. You're braving the elements to get there. And then when you arrive, there's like a sticky dance floor, shots. It's great. I went on the gay night though. So the only time I ever went there, it was like dead, because how many gays are there in Eastbourne and in the late 90s? And so it was very Hun. But I met the guy I first ever slept with at Atlantis.
Really?
It's quite a tragic story. But and it was one of those like seaside houses that's like very thin and long. And did you have those in Weston-super-Mare?
Yes, but I think I don't know about Eastbourne. I'm imagining Eastbourne to be a little bit more glamorous than that Weston-super-Mare, because Weston-super-Mare literally looked battered at all times. Like it had its time, and I'm pretty sure, actually seeing pictures of Weston-super-Mare recently, that it's had a bit of a injection of resurgence and looks lovely. But yeah, back in the day, it was very grey, sun blasted, and
Eastbourne is, I would say, still clinging on, actually. I mean, when I was younger, it was a lot more glamorous. They had like fountains on the seafront, but lots of people were pouring washing up liquid in them. So they've just replaced them now with plant pots. So there's just big plant pots where the fountains were. And, the pier burnt down.
Oh, God, yeah,
So
of course.
basically, it got bought by this sheikh guy, and he's now painted all of it gold. So it's like very Hun. It's even more Hun than ever.
Oh, I love a bit of chintzy gold on the seafront.
No, it's brilliant. It's absolutely perfect. And I only found this out earlier when I was like Googling Eastbourne again. His name is Sheikh Abid Gulzar, like a sea Gulzar. Isn't that so perfect?
Well, do you know what? That's even more Hun, because Mel B's first husband was Jimmy Gulzar.
No.
So that Phoenix's dad, or Phoenix dad, is called Jimmy Gulzar, who was a dancer on the Spice World
Maybe
tour.
It's the same family.
Oh, God, this is it. Perhaps Spice World, actually, the centre of Spice World is in Eastbourne.
Viva la Eastbourne.
Viva la Eastbourne. Brilliant. You live in London. Which part of London
I'm
are
in
you
Greenwich.
Greenwich.
Yeah, with the yummy mummies.
Yummy mummies. I don't think has Greenwich got many Huns there?
I would say no, actually.
No.
And I feel like I'm missing Hun culture because of that. There's a lot of rich people.
Yeah.
And then there's me. And so I do get judged quite a bit. There's a lot of Lululemon vibes, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it's a lot older than you'd expect. It's not as hot and trendy. I need to be in like an East London situation, I think.
Where do you think is the honeyest place in London? Let's think about that.
That's a great question. Well, I think Vauxhall could take the crown.
Ooh.
There's a lot of Huns there.
Well, there's a lot of everything in Vauxhall, actually.
There's a lot of everything.
I reckon. Do you know what I reckon? I reckon Soho Square's Hun.
Soho Square is definitely Hun.
Soho Square's Hun.
Victoria Park is Hun.
Westfield Stratford, that is Hun.
Oh, that is so Hun. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably Blue Water, actually.
Blue Water, yeah.
Yeah, Blue Water's the most Hun.
Yeah, Blue Water's most Hun.
Actually, have you been to the shopping centre over the road from Westfield Stratford? Because that's the most Hun.
Do you know what? It's so funny you should... Yeah, because that's where the Wetherspoons is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. What's your weather... Do you eat in Wetherspoons? Because I love a Wetherspoons, because I used to live in Muswell Hill, and Muswell Hill Wetherspoons is the best Wetherspoons. Whenever Wetherspoons is on TV, they're always broadcasting from Muswell Hill Wetherspoons, because it is... They started it up a couple of years, and it's kind of the showpiece. But I used to live in Muswell Hill and I loved it. I was like in there all the time because it was the only place to go. You had your steak Tuesdays, you had your Indian Thursdays, you had
curry night,
your curry nights and everything.
The breakfast, the sausage is so good. My favorite is the chips. And actually, there's a very good. I used to live in Islington, which is also very Hun. Yeah. And there's a great Wetherspoons on Holloway Road. It's like an old theatre.
What's your Wetherspoons drink?
I would go for a cider.
A cider. Are you a cider Hun?
No, I'm not. But in a Wetherspoons, it feels like a cider, doesn't it? And it wouldn't be a recorder leg. That's far too glamorous. I think I'd go full, like, just whatever they've got on draft.
Strongbow.
Yeah,
Thatchers.
I'd go Strongbow. Thatchers.
Strongbow's dark fruits. Strongbow's dark fruits is Hun.
Always dark fruits.
Strongbow's dark fruits is Hun. Talking about memes and Hun culture, how would you describe Hun culture to somebody who sort of arrived from outer space and's like, what is this whole Hun culture thing?
I've had this because I've had a friend in LA be very confused by me shouting Hun at everyone. Yeah. And he was just like, I don't get it. It's like a Southern thing here. And they just don't get Hun culture in the States. So I had to explain it. And it's quite nuanced, I'd say. It's quite a complex thing to describe to people.
Lots of layers.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of layers. It's like an onion, isn't it? Or a lasagna. And I don't think everyone gets it. And if you don't get it, it means you're not a Hun.
Yeah.
Because really, it's just being British, isn't it? To an extent. A lot of it is being British. But it's not like lad British.
No.
It's Hun British.
Yeah. It's almost like the opposite of lad British, isn't it?
It's hard to describe Hun without saying the word Hun.
Yeah. It's like, I always say this, it's like, how do you describe the Saturday's Megamix, Gail Platt, Chanel the Parrot going missing, and Bubbly's in the Fridge?
Right.
How does that all exist in this same space?
I mean, Bubbly's in the Fridge is probably the most Hun thing ever.
Oh, I literally... Bubbly's in the Fridge, I've spoken about this before on the podcast, is now a certified mood for me. It's like, I will go 0 to Bubbly's in the Fridge in like 3.5 seconds.
Do you know what it is? I think it's trauma. I think a lot of it is like trauma, being burned by men. It's our collective response to the system pushing us down. That for me is what Hun culture is, and that's why Bubbly's in the fridge like epitomizes it perfectly. Because it's like, fuck you, I'm gonna pull the curtains off the rail and go crazy.
Is there anyone or any sort of meme or reality TV show moment or these sound bites that are so associated with Hun culture that you quote on the daily, like all the time, like, or is it something that changes?
I mean, it changes constantly, and actually at work on our breakfast show, we just constantly do them off air at each other.
Yeah,
literally non-stop. So we've done Whenever You're Ready.
I'm ready.
We've done Jessie J. No. No. Yes. And lately, the Hun meme that I just can't stop saying is, I've got nothing left, by Ian Beale. And I don't know if Ian Beale is a Hun, but I think he is.
Ian Beale is a Hun, because Ian Beale, I think part of Hun culture for me is these like outrageous overreactions to something quite, and if anybody's done an outrageous overreaction that you can then bring into your daily life, like you've just mentioned, that is like fast track to the Hall of Fame. So I think Ian
Beale's a Hun, 100%.
Yeah, and also I think there's that whole thing about soap matriarchs, and Ian Beale's had so many moments with so many of the by default. He's a Hun.
I think so.
He's a Hun, yeah. So Ian Beale, in fact, actually, we could get, I don't know whether he'd get it, though. If we had Adam Woodyard on this podcast, I'm not sure whether he'd get it.
I don't think he'd get it. You know what's really made me quite happy recently, and I was on holiday when this happened, when Lisa Scott Lee followed the Twitter account B-List at Capital, and it came up somehow, my algorithm knows my Hun status, it came up as a notification.
Yeah.
Lisa Scott Lee has followed B-List at Capital, and I thought, fuck me, thank you, Lisa has arrived. Her therapy has paid off, and she's joined us.
Well, actually, I don't think I've mentioned this on the podcast, but by the time that this comes out, so I'm obsessed with Lisa Scott Lee. I love her. I love the music when, like, I loved Lately, I loved Electric, I loved Totally Scott Lee, obviously loved her in Steps, loved the hair mascara, loved the fan in The Way You Make Me Feel. I love the skirt over the trousers. I'm literally obsessed with Scott Lee. And she's amazing. I think I love the stories of 3SL and everything like that. And there was a time where she was a bit off radar. Perhaps the Wi-Fi was down in Dubai and she wasn't really engaging. And then I did a meme like Lisa Scott Lenore, and it was basically Lisa Scott Lee as bottles of Lenore. And she was like, "Oh my God, this is so funny." Started following me, and now she's an active part of the scene, the Hun culture scene, the movers and shakers.
Yeah.
And she's sort of risen through the ranks, and now everyone calls her the Queen of Huns. And I think it's sort of, I kind of like that. And my new book is out in August. This is shameless, shameful plug. And Lisa Scott Lee has written the foreword for my book as the Queen.
Congratulations.
I know, it's amazing.
You have arrived.
Lisa is amazing. We love Lisa on the show. But yeah, Lisa's brilliant. Like, I love her. I think she's absolutely fabulous. Would you say that she's a good contender for Queen of Huns?
I think so. But then I also feel sad about that because of Jane McDonald. Right? I mean,
yeah. And
Jane's given us a lot. And Ruth as well. Ruth's done a lot for us.
Ruth's given us a lot.
Vanessa Feltz is a Hun. Vanessa doesn't get enough credit for being a
Hun.
Hun.
No, she doesn't. But she's just come on Instagram and she's starting to trickle through the content. She is.
A lot of it's questionable.
Yeah, we're getting trickles from Vanessa Feltz. Keep an eye on it. Do you know who also I had really, 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 really high hopes for content, and unfortunately I've not seen it, is Big Mo from EastEnders. She came on Instagram. We had a couple of videos of her in the pool in a Spanish villa. Nothing since. She dabbled with us.
Yeah, she just teased us, and then she's the fuck boy of the Hun world.
Big Mo is the fuck boy of the Hun world. Brilliant. Absolutely.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah, Big Mo, if you're listening, stop fucking us about. Come back. Hold up. We'll be back with our gorgy guest right after this. Thank you for supporting Hunsnet on Instagram and loyally listening to this podcast, The Hundamental Guide to Life. Now, The Instagram and the podcast will always be totally free to you, babes, and you will never have to dip into that prosexy pot to carry on consuming the Hunsnet content that you enjoy. But we know that some of you would love more content, and to facilitate this, you can now go behind the Kurt Hun and support Hunsnet on Patreon. For as little as the cost of your morning cup of coffee, you can get exclusive access to so much more Hunsnet content, exclusive discounts, offers, and even get the podcast in video form and ad-free. Get involved now, babes. www.patreon.com/Hunsnet. Hun supporting Huns, honey. You work on the radio and present the breakfast show with none other than Fleur-Reese. Is Fleur, this is like an obvious question, is Fleur a Hun?
Definitely. Fleur is definitely a Hun, but a very lovely Hun. And there's no real meltdowns with Fleur. So I would say that she's more like...
She's a cool Hun.
She's a cool Hun, yeah.
I'm not a regular Hun.
Hun. She's a cool Hun.
Is Fleur great? She at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, no, she is. And she's always very happy. I don't understand. She deals with mornings way better than me. She's very fun to be around. Mm-hmm. We have a really good time. The most embarrassing thing is when I come in humming her songs and I'm like, whose song is that? And she's like, that's my song.
It's just my song.
They just get in my head because she's in front of me, so I don't realize, and then I start humming breakfast and it's like, oh god, that's your song, how embarrassing. And that happens on a daily basis.
But she also raps as well. Rap I don't think there's enough credit, like there's not very many Hun raps out there. Like Fleur's a rapper. I think that she could definitely take the crown of the queen of rap in the Hun world.
Right, we do a rap roulette every Friday on our Hits Radio breakfast show. Ask your smart speaker to play Hits Radio. I'm just doing an ad as well. And yeah, she does a rap roulette, and my god, it's like Cher Lloyd's in the room. It's so good. Rap is back.
Rap is back.
I think she would also kill me for describing her as Cher Lloyd, by the way.
No. Well, Cher Lloyd by Cher Lloyd, she'd probably say it's disgusting. Do you know what I love looking back? And the old X Factor clips, obviously, they've got a lot of the content from there. The group numbers, that's just reminded me, actually, the group numbers from X Factor back in the day, and they were pretty questionable, but very Hun, right?
Very Hun.
I've been following you on Instagram and you've been workshopping a load of stuff and doing some gigs. For anybody who's not been to one of your stand-up gigs or follows you on Instagram, describe your style.
Great. Sassy, but quite, I mean, I think some of it could be seen as problematic, if I'm honest. There's a few how do I talk about it? There's a few jokes about people that are no longer with us. But it's fun. I mean, my last show was about dating and how difficult it was to find a guy, and it was about all the apps, and it was about the Grindr chats. And this show is about the nightmare of having a boyfriend, and how much harder that is, I think. So there's a lot of content about having a boyfriend and my dog, and then also I've really decided to open up in a way I haven't before and talk about my quest for fame, which isn't something I've really like.
That is very Hun.
I've never really realized that that's what I was doing, but I think I'm owning that, and I've been figuring out why I want to do that, because it's actually quite toxic, isn't it? Fame. I
don't know. I think it's weird, isn't it? It's like, I mean, I sit in this. I'm certainly not famous. I'm just a bloke who makes memes, but it's really weird when people, you know, you're out in freedom, just having to cut the drinks. You're like, oh, you're the bloke from Hunsnet, you know, and it's like weird, isn't it? And it's like, but it's nice. It's also not nice because you feel weird about it, but then you like it, and then it's
listen,
weird.
I just don't want to queue anymore. I think I want to buy. I want to buy Primark. I don't want to buy the sweaters. I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to like swan around and get entry into clubs. I want more of a Hun life, I think. So I'm just leaning into that a bit. And I'm also talking about some of my celebrity experiences in the show, and and also roasting some of the radio stations I've worked for.
So who is in the celeb world? Who would you say is the honeyest, or who's the most honeyest experience you've had celeb wise?
I think Alexandra Burke.
Oh,
actually.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really definitely. A metaphor.
Say it.
It's really a metaphor. I've seen my mountain camp. And I had to say it before. It's
Right?
an American say it.
This time I interviewed her and she'd just released Start Without You. And the opening lyric is, I'm like a beast, right?
Yeah.
So I said, what do you mean? And
Yeah.
she said, wow, that's a really rude question. There could be children listening to this. And I was like, what?
No?
Huh? So yeah, I think it's that. It was very funny. But also Rihanna. I met Rihanna and she's amazing. She was so cool. And I think she was a bit of a Hun.
Well, she duetted with Matt Cardle, and by default now that, I mean, Rihanna was great in it. I mean, but I mean, when you listen back to the audio, I mean, that was a questionable vocal performance for
the
a
way
final
they
of an
forced
X
those
Factor.
A-listers to like hang out with these competition winners is
So
very
stupid.
traumatic and awful.
It's so stupid when you think about it.
It is.
We're going to get you on a flight. You're going to arrive at 3:00. You're going to go straight to Wembley Studios. You're going to get 30 minutes with this bloke who looks like an estate agent. He's going to murder your song. You're going to tell him it's brilliant. You're going to low key sex him up. You're going to get back on the plane, and you're going to have 500 grand in your account by the time you touch down. It's basically
Done.
that, right?
I'm there.
I mean, the best Hun moment actually with Alexandra. I mean, I've got to say this is. We talk about it all the time, is the Beyonce moment. That is the Hun TV event ever. Nothing ever comes close to that.
That's the one time it worked, really.
Yeah, the Hun time it worked. The Beyonce. And actually, I don't know whether you've seen it, but Dermot calls Beyonce.
Dermo, as I call him.
Dermaplane calls Beyonce a Hun.
In the clip?
In the clip. At the end of the clip.
Oh, he does. You're right.
Yeah. Beyonce Hun. And then taps her on the back, and there's probably some like shifty security guy like I'm looking over, going, "Get your hands off Beyonce right now! Don't touch her." Right. Okay. So let's talk about. You just spoke about your boyfriend there. Now, this is quite Hun because I read that you met your partner on the London Underground on the way to a Spice Girls concert. Is this true?
This is true. It was on the way back from the Spice Girls
on the
concert.
way back.
I went with my friends, me and my girls and my gays, and we had a raucous time. We drank a lot, and then on the way out, we actually tried. I mean, I could give you a very long version of the story or a short one. We went to try and get another drink, so we were delayed for the tube. But you never want to queue at Wembley, do you? On Wembley Way. So we went to try and get another drink. We weren't allowed to order a drink, so we just used the loos, which is a very Hun move, I think. Go to a venue, use the loo, leave. So we did that. And then as we came out, we joined the queue, and there were these other gays very nearby who had hummus and dips. The hummus is the dip. So they were dipping carrots in the hummus. And
that's fun.
My friend Mel was like, oh, these gays have hummus. So we started chatting to them. And then my boyfriend James, same name, very that's narcissistic. Thank you. She was there with her painted nails, and they offered us some hummus. And so then, when we were getting on the tube, we sort of got separated. But as the queues all formed again, we then bumped back into each other. And rather than going the way his friends were going, he decided to stay with me and my friends.
And the rest is history.
It. The rest is a whole lot of history.
How long ago was the Spice? That was a couple of years ago? A year ago?
3 years ago.
Are you main character in the relationship?
Oh, babes, do you have to ask?
I'm just asking again.
I am main character energy. I wouldn't even put him as like a best supporting actor, to be honest. He's more of a cameo.
Somebody who pops up in season 3 every now and again. Santino Rice.
Exactly. I'd say he was the Shady Az in Sex and the City, just like that. But I wouldn't go as far as that, to be honest, because Shady Az has very main character Hun energy.
I mean, meeting your other half at a Spice Girls concert and bonding over hummus that is Hun. It's a great story to tell the Grand Huns. So James, being a fabulous DJ, you get out and DJ in the clubs as well, right? Do you do PAs?
Yes. Well, I'm doing Mighty Hoopla this summer, which I'm so excited about.
What day are you there? You there both days? Or
I think I'm the Friday night.
Friday night.
So the Steps Day.
The Steps Day.
So hopefully there's no clash.
So I am going to Mighty Hoopla this year. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about it because on the Saturday is a big milestone birthday for me. So
21.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, forever 21. And I, in my head, I have sort of dreamt this up that the Sugar Babes are reforming, especially for my milestone birthday. And I'm going to see them at Mighty Hoopla. So that's
Are you
going
going
to
to
be
buy their
brilliant.
stationery line
I
whilst you're
am,
there?
yeah, I am.
Good, that's great.
And also, I'm going to get I'm going to be dripping. Obviously, the day's quite long, so I'm going to split it into 3 days, into three sections. Sorry, the day into 3 sections, and I'm going to have each of their fragrances. So I'm going to
I
have.
love that. And I hope rather than asking for gifts, you're going to ask people to donate to Jade Ewan's crowdfund after she lost her voice on Aladdin.
Oh,
that's your cause, babes.
That is Hun, isn't it? Jade Ewan suing Disney because she had to sing a bit louder because the male lead sang in her face. That is brilliant. Well done, Jade. Jade's not coming on the show ever. So you're DJing at Mighty Hoopla. Now, we asked this question to all of our guests. Obviously, Hundamental Guide to Life, Live, Love, Laugh. We're asking you for songs that make you live, love, and laugh. So, James, Mighty Hoopla, you want everybody to be up, going wild in the aisles to a song that makes you live. What song is that going to be?
I thought really hard about this. And I did think about like dropping, an Inea Day, CC Peniston, but I'm going Barbie Girl.
You're going to go Barbie Girl?
I think so. Because everyone knows the words. It's very Hun.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs that you pretend is not cool, but it's cool.
Everybody will lose their shit to it.
It's very cool, and no one plays it.
Nobody
it really is a surprise. So, surprise, surprise, it's Aqua Barbie Girl.
Well, I was going to ask you, is it the Aqua version or is it going to be Samanda? Do you remember the twins?
I don't.
The twins from Big Brother, they were on there like Big Brother 7 or Big Brother 8. They released their female twins and they released a version of it.
I will be more specific. It's the Chromatica bootleg remix. Have you heard that?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
Fabulous. Well, our episodes are sponsored by Back 2 Festival, which is a sort of throwback festival, which is happening in Derbyshire in July, and Aqua are headlining there. I'm down for that. I'm here for it. Song to make you love. So you've got your hummus with your boyfriend, you've got the Spice Girls Greatest Hits on, or you might not have. You're thinking about putting the Spice Girls Greatest Hits on to relive the past. Is there a song that makes you think of your dearly beloved?
This has been quite difficult because we don't actually have a song yet.
Do you not?
No. Oh, we do. It's sorry.
It's not Mama, is it? Spice Girls.
No, I wish. It's Steps actually, and it would be Say You'll Be Mine.
Oh yeah.
And when we got together, this is very hard. On our first Christmas, I printed out Say You'll Be Mine onto a big piece of paper, and then I glued the words and threw loads of glitter at it. So now in a frame, he's got this like poster on the wall that says "Say You'll Be Mine," which I made.
It sounds very like your 7 art project, and I'm here for
it. Yeah, very much that. Yeah, and the glitter's all over it. It's not just on the words; it's like spread out everywhere because like, my aim wasn't so good. Exactly.
And finally, what song never stops to make you laugh, and make you lose your stuff, or remind you of a time which was really funny, and you're laughing with your gorgeous girlies?
So Cheryl, definitely, just because of the swan dive. Yeah. But actually, thinking about Rihanna, her song "Only Girl in the World," I always think that first lyric is I want you to love me like I'm a hot pie. I used to think it was pie. It's not, it's ride, but this was before lyric websites. Yeah. So I was convinced it was pie. So when I met her, I gave her like a pie. And she was like, what are you doing? And I had to explain that she was like, no, it's ride. It's not pie.
So you gave her Holly. She's like, get the Harley Davidson in now. Funny you should mention, and it's a great segue here. It's funny that you should mention misheard lyrics because a big part of my journey through Hun culture is the Trombolese thing. So everybody knows my lover's got no money. He's got his Trombolese. I did this like meme last year and talked about Trombolese. And now every Friday, Saturday and Sunday morning, my inbox is clogged of people recording "My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs" with the word Trombolese on from all corners of the globe because it's a misheard lyric. Now, as a DJ, you've spoken about your Rihanna there. Have you got any other favourite misheard lyrics? We put this out to the Hunsnet followers and we got some quite questionable responses. So
I can't wait.
This is not a misheard lyrics, but at Claire Steps thought Skunk and Nancy were called Skunk and Nancy.
Are they not?
No, it's definitely Skunk and Nancy.
What? It's one word.
It's 2 words, but she thinks it's Skunk and Nancy.
Yeah,
but
that's what I thought.
It's definitely not that. It's Skunk and Nancy. So, mic drop moment there for you. Maybe there's someone else.
We're learning. Live, laugh, learning.
Live, love, learning. That is how we could teach the younger Huns. That could be a key stage 3 topic. Brilliant. Oh, God, yes. Put that on the notes. Okay, Stephanie Erdels thought Anne-Marie, ciao, adios, I'm done, was shower de horse, I'm done.
Love that. Yeah.
Shower de horse, I'm done.
It should be, really.
It should be. The name
I don't
remix.
think Anne-Marie has a horse, but Mabel has a horse.
Mabel has a horse.
Mabel has a horse, so...
Let them know. Amy_disco, whose mum sounds like a dead cute Hun, says, my mum thinks Macy Gray's I'd try is I wear goggles when you're not here. I wear goggles when you're not here.
Instead of, what is it?
I think it's My World Crumbles when you're not here. At Heather.m.emery says, hold me close, I'm trying to dance here. I think that this is Hold Me Close, Tiny Dancer. Elton John.
Hold me close, I'm trying to dance here.
Hold me close, I'm trying to dance. It makes sense. I mean,
that's better, I think.
I think I like it. Yeah, get out of my way.
Yeah, I mean, who are you calling the tiny dancer, Elton? It's quite rude, really, if anything.
Now, your work on your fabulous podcast, A Gay and Non-Gay, you're a Gorgina expert on pronouns. Now, we are going to ask you to title somebody with a new pronoun. Okay, this is our Royal Hunness. Now, every week on the podcast, we ask our guest to crown somebody who they think should take the accolade for this week's Royal Hunness, and we will in turn induct them into the Royal Hun Hall of Fame. So, James Barr, it can be anybody. You alluded to it earlier on. Have you got a Royal Hunness for us?
I think it might be Honey G.
Honey G is now a Royal Hun because you have named Honey G a Royal Hun. But Honey G, definitely. I mean, somebody who goes on. How does it all happen? Let's just divulge. Let's discuss Honey G. What actually happened there? Was that a Bacardi Breezer dream?
It. Honey G believes it to her core. And I think that can only mean one thing. Honey G has a lot of inspirational quotes in her house. I mean, if you walk around thinking you are a hip hop star
in a check shirt,
when you are
and a Sports Direct cap,
when you're Honey G, then that means she's a Hun to me. Like, she's definitely got those live, laugh, love strap lines all over her house. She believes everything about who she is, and so that's an inspiration. That's a Hunspiration to me.
She is a Hunspiration to all. I hope she makes a comeback on some sort of reality show, so we can actually, because she was quite you didn't really know much about Honey. She was like it was like the Masked Singer.
Elusive.
She was elusive.
She literally is the Masked Singer.
She was the Masked Singer.
The glassed singer.
Yeah, I'd love to get under the skin of Honey G to really find out what's going on there. What happened? Were you really an estate agent? Was it all a joke? Was it a Bacardi Breezer dream? What went on?
What's happening?
Fever
if it
dream.
wasn't going to be Honey G, then it would have been Ian Beale, I think, today.
Well, I think Ian Beale has had enough exposure on here as well. So I think that Ian Beale can be a close second, can be the Hun in waiting.
Right. I just want Honey G to accept her Hun status.
We'll reach out. We'll put a call into her people. So Honey G, congratulations. You have now been inducted into the Royal Hun Hall of Fame as this week's Royal Hunness. So James Barr, thank you for joining us today on the Hundamental Guide to Life. Do you feel a bit more Hun-educated?
I do. I feel very Hun right now.
Yeah.
I am going to go and enjoy another Lamborghini.
You're going to get a Yankee
Lamborghini
candle
Spritz this time. I'm going to put my Yankee candle on, yeah. I think
Fabulous.
I might dim the lights. Just live my truth this evening.
Yeah, live your truth. Live your best life. Before you go, please tell everybody where they can find you on socials, what you're up to. Tell them about when you're on the morning show on Hits Radio. Tell them all where they can get their James Barr injection following this podcast.
Thank you. Well, you can come see me live. I'm performing at the Brighton and Edinburgh Fringe in 2022. Go to jamesbarrcomedy.com to find out more. It's Barr with 2 R's, like Iron Brew, BARR, because Iron Brew is owned by Barr. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, that probably only works for your Scottish listeners.
I'm going to go down an Iron Brew black hole after this.
And my podcast, A Gay and a Non-Gay, is available everywhere.
Award-winning podcast.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it is. And what else do I need to tell you about? I'm on Tombola Bingo. Check me out. And my username everywhere is at I'm James Barr, so you can find me on your socials. And check me out on Hits Radio Breakfast with Fleur East every weekday from 6 a.m. when you wake up.
Fabulous. Well, James, we will look forward to catching up with you very, very soon. Thanks for joining us on the Hundamental Guide to Life, and we will see you very shortly. Get the Lamborghini out. Go on.
Thanks, babes. I've never had such a great time. I feel like myself, finally. I've been allowed to... Do you know I used to get told off for saying Hun on the radio?
Nah.
Literally.
Speak your truth.
Can you believe that? Honestly, they'd be like, don't say Hun. Please don't say Hun.
I hope that person's now been sacked. Then not you.
I hope worse than that.
A grief Huns then. Well, that's it. Another episode of the Hundamental Guide to Life is over. But before you go, have you checked out the brand new Hunsnet website? www.hunsnet.com, our brand new home on the Tinterweb. Need to get tickets to Hun Brunch? We got you, darling, as all the tickets can be found there. Not yet pre-ordered the brand new Hunsnet book, hitting bookshelves this August, might I say. Don't worry, babes, all is forgiven, because you can pre-order it on the site. And finally, if you want to treat yourself or one of your honeys to a dead gorgy present, you can browse our full range of merch too. Log on now for all things Hunsnet on the web, www.hunsnet.com.
Insanity Group.